Subramanian Swamy versus the Election Commission. Subramanian Swamy has launched a frontal attack on the Election Commission. He's urged the Election Commission to ensure contents of his petition seeking de-recognition of the Congress party are not leaked to the media. It's being alleged that officials of the Election Commission have a predetermined intention to return his petition as outside the scope of the powers of the EC under the Constitution. This is what sources in the EC have told Headlines today. Let me quickly bring in Dr. Subramanian Swamy, President of Janata Party, for more on this. Dr. Swamy, why do you fear that the EC is leaking contents of your petition to the media?
Well, I don't mind releasing my petition because I myself have released it. The issue is that they are a tribunal, which is a kind of a quasi-judicial body, and therefore what the Election Commission is going to decide, they cannot leak to the press even before a hearing has taken place. Even if they maintain that the Election Commission doesn't have a power, they should have to send notice to the Congress party and hold a hearing. Now, the Supreme Court has only said that the Election Commission doesn't have power to deregister, but it has never said you can't de-recognize. That means that it's a recognized party means it will get a reserved symbol and it will get certain other facilities like free voter roll and so on. So those facilities all will be withdrawn if it's de-recognized. Now, if it's deregistered, then all its candidates will become independent. So this is the aspect for which they have to have a hearing. Now, how can they leak that this is what we have decided, that we don't have the power? It's an arguable proposition whether they have the power or they don't have the power. Okay. I remember even when some of these super secular organizations sent a petition for deregistering the Janata Party, they sent me a notice. And I told them, please go and read the Supreme Court judgment before sending me a notice. And when it comes to the Congress party, the Election Commission seems to develop fright, you see. And therefore, they are already briefing not to one press, but almost every press, including yours.
Okay. Why do you say that the Election Commission, and that's a big charge that you're leveling, sir, that the Election Commission is scared of the Congress party? Why do you feel that?
Otherwise, why should they say give the judgment out in advance? You see?
Okay.
It is a judgment, no, that we don't have the power. They got a petition. They should ask the Congress party to say you don't have the power, and give me an opportunity to say that they have the power. Then they have to give an order, a considered judicious order.
Okay. Now, for us, just help us de-jargonize this, Dr. Swamy.
Yes,
the difference between de-recognize and de-register.
Well, you see, first of all, a party has to be registered with the Election Commission to be called their candidates they put up to be called as party candidates, and they are entitled to subject to other things. If they are in sufficient numbers, they are allowed to get a common symbol for a particular election, not a fixed symbol, but a common symbol. That means for that election, they'll have one symbol for all its candidates. Now, when you are recognized, it means that you have got 6% of the vote in so many states and so many MLAs or MPs elected. And there is a criteria for that, and consequently, paragraph 10, I think, of the symbols order, they get a symbol like the hand symbol or the Haldar Kisan symbol which Janata Party had. Like that, you get a fixed symbol, and that you can be assured from election to election as long as you maintain that 6%. You will be allowed that. Then you will be recognized as a party to be invited for any meeting. You will get free electoral rolls. You'll get an opportunity to come on television during the broadcast for recognized parties, as they call it. So there are certain facilities that flow from it. So there's a difference. Registering means that you are in the rules of the Election Commission, and the Election Commission will not treat your candidates as independent. But if you are recognized, you will in addition get certain other facilities. So that's the difference. In the case of recognition, you have to perform in the
Yes.
election in getting minimum number of votes.
Yes, and at this point of time, you are seeking that the Congress party be de-recognized
That's
because
right.
they lent 90 crore rupees for the Young Indian
No,
project.
for the first thing which the young Indian coolly wrote it off and gave 50 lakhs as bakshish and took over 1600 crore building.
Now, so far, the Election Commission hasn't officially had a hearing or not officially
That's
decided
right. They
on your
have to.
petition.
Yes,
So, aren't you jumping the gun here, sir?
it is the election commission which is jumping the gun. Without holding a hearing, they are briefing the press that this is the decision.
Is there a time-bound manner in which the Election Commission is to hold a hearing on your petition before they take a decision whether or not to de-recognize the Congress party?
No, they have to first send me a notice as well as the Congress party a notice, and then they will hold a hearing, and then I will make a submission, and then Congress will rebut it, and then I will reply to it, and then the election commission will have to give an order, which can be challenged later on in the High Court and the Supreme Court.
Okay. Dr. Swamy, I know you have a flight to catch, but I'd request you to stay on just for a moment. Let me bring in Headlines Today's political editor, Javed Ansari, for more on this. Javed, you've been speaking to your sources in the Election Commission, and there does appear to be this talk that they are saying that it's not their jurisdiction to decide on this petition at all.
That's precisely what they are saying. They've said it repeatedly that it doesn't fall within their purview. They've asked, in fact, they've asked for such powers, and this is still pending. This proposal is still pending, and government sources say that whenever this is a question of a larger reform, I pointedly asked the Information and Broadcasting Minister this in my interview with him, and he said that's another story. It's a part of a larger reform process, and when those laws are amended and when electoral reforms are put in place, this could be considered. At this point of time, this is not the law of the land, and therefore, at least as far as the government is concerned, they don't see any merit in Dr. Swamy's petition. Of course, Dr. Swamy will have a different view on that.
Okay, Dr. Swamy, if the Election Commission does not even have jurisdiction on the issue, if I may use that parlance, then can they decide on your petition at all?
First of all, there must be some clause which says they don't have jurisdiction. Where does it say? In either the Representative People's Act or the Symbols Order or the Constitution. There's no place which it has said so. Therefore, it is an arguable proposition. When it's an arguable proposition, you have to hold a hearing. Just because the Election Commission thinks it doesn't have a jurisdiction, doesn't mean it doesn't have. This is ultimately the Supreme Court and the High Court which will decide. So, Election Commission thought that they had jurisdiction to deregister a party. The matter went to the Supreme Court. They said, no, you don't have jurisdiction. So the Election Commission can make mistakes. It's not a divine organization, and therefore on this matter, since there is no specific clause in any of the acts that relate to the elections and the Election Commission work, where it says that you are barred from going into this, I think therefore they should hold a hearing and consider arguments of both sides and give a reasoned order, which I can later on challenge in the Supreme Court.
Should you not have gone to court straight away, sir, to the High Court?
No, because I believe that they have jurisdiction.
Okay, why do you feel, I mean, Javed spoke to INB Minister Manish Tiwari. He says government has no jurisdiction, neither does the Election Commission.
Manish Tiwari has spoken a lot of nonsense in 2G. He said, I have no power to write to the Prime Minister that I should go first and file an FIR, then only go and ask for sanction, all kinds of... I mean, he's a hack for the party. So don't tell me what law he knows or doesn't know. I'm telling you that when you go to the Representative People's Act, it says a political party can do only this. And there is no mention at all of being enabled to give a loan. So I interpret that along with the a law which is called General Clauses Act, that just because they have not stated that you can give a loan, it means you cannot. If the Parliament wanted political parties to be able to give loans, they would have read it into the Representative People's Act. They have not done it, and therefore they are barred from doing it. And it's understandable also. Okay. But anyway, That's an arguable proposition. The Election Commission has to hold a hearing.
The Election Commission has to hold a hearing. They should not be leaking a decision to the media even before they hold a hearing. Dr. Swamy, if you can stay on with us for a moment, let's quickly listen in to Minister of State Information and Broadcasting, Manish Tiwari. Let's listen in.
The Indian National Congress has given a detailed, logical and a cogent explanation. There has been absolutely no violation of the law or the regulations. So therefore, if somebody wants to try and make political capital out of it, there is nothing that you can do to really stop him. But at the end of the day, there is absolutely no substance in the averments which he has made.